Stephen A., Steph was sensational, the highest scoring fourth quarter he's ever had, 33 in the second half. Houston on their home floor, unable to do it. I'm curious, from your perspective, are you looking at this more from the angle of Golden State's ability to win or Houston's inability to close?
I got to admit to you, I'm a bit stuck. I got to admit it. That's a rare situation, SVP. The bottom line is this. You got to give Golden State all the credit in the world. Klay Thompson handled his business in the first half, was drilling threes from all over the place when Steph Curry was struggling. Steph Curry goes into the locker room. He comes out, and he looked like that two-time league MVP, that three-time champion. He dropped 33. They had no answer for him. But how can I ignore the Houston Rockets?
You can't.
I mean, what the hell? What the hell? I mean, you can't ignore it.
No.
The fact of the matter is, James Harden is a superstar. We know this. But you're now going to hear people talking about him in the regular season, because when it mattered most, you couldn't find him. He made a three late. There's no question about it. He's got his 35 points. We can't deny that. But at the end of the day, when you are a superstar, you have got to close. That's what Steph Curry did. CP3 was sensational.
Yep.
Absolutely sensational. But there's levels to this. And we saw that CP3 is on this level, but Steph is on this level. Because when it counted most, who was there? It was Steph. And at the end of the day, when you're looking at the Houston Rockets, don't ignore Mike D'Antoni. Because now if you're looking at Mike D'Antoni and you're looking at the Houston Rockets, you have to look at Mike D'Antoni, you have to look at Daryl Morey, and you have to ask yourself this question. Can this system win? The answer is no. Absolutely not, because they never have. It's that simple. Didn't win in Phoenix, didn't win in New York, didn't win in L.A., hasn't won in Houston because the Golden State Warriors are standing in your way. You're looking at the Houston Rockets, and in the end, what it came down to wasn't points. It was, could you get a stop? They could not stop Steph Curry. They didn't stop Klay Thompson. They didn't stop Andre Iguodala. They didn't make any stops when they needed to, and as a result, for the second consecutive year, and a fourth time in the last 5 years, the Houston Rockets are going home, courtesy of the Golden State Warriors. It's that simple. It sounded a little bit complicated, but it's really that simple.
But allow me to counter, counselor, that yes, you're right. They couldn't get a stop. But they couldn't get a stop because a guy, Stephen A., who for whatever reason gets slandered like he's a bum, and I'm talking about Steph Curry, when he has bad games. People talk about this guy reckless, like he's not a great player. And when he goes berserk in the fourth, they win that game because he and Klay absolutely team up, and they're enough. They're enough to win, and Houston couldn't stop it. Tucker's in his face. I don't know what Tucker's supposed to do when Steph buries a three. Like, that's a great player making a great play.
Well, Scott Van Pelt, I must accuse you of being a bit emotional at this particular moment in time, sir. And the reason why I would go that route with you,
I'm allowed to raise my voice on my show. I'm allowed to raise my voice on my show. If you're going to scream at me, I'm going to scream at you.
I love it. No. I love it. I'm just saying that you are a bit more emotional than usual, and that's okay because it's justified. But what I would say to you is where you're incorrect. They don't call Steph Curry a bum. No one's ever called him that. We know he's an elite player. We consider him the greatest shooter that we've ever seen. He's a two-time league MVP and a three-time champion who's proven himself in many moments. What he's been accused of is being a bit lackadaisical or a bit too carefree with the basketball at inopportune times. That's what people get on him about, because sometimes he creates his own difficult situations because of his inability or unwillingness to be a bit more focused and taking care of the basketball.
Okay.
But nobody ever questions his game because his game is great. And he showed why tonight, because he does things that most people can't do.
All right, I disagree. I think people take shots. Maybe I got a little, I perhaps got lackadaisical with throwing the bum word around because maybe I'm overstating things. But imagine hyperbole being used in sports talk. Just to have some conversation between two fellas. I enjoy it as always, Stephen A. It's a little bit of both, right? Great plays on one side and not enough plays from Houston.